Hello everyone, welcome to this Sims 3 house design video. So today I am here in Plymouth Isle building an apartment building on lot number 24. So this lot is right in the town center. It's actually across the street from the antique store and from the grocery store, and it's kind of right on the road that leads down to the harbor, which is partially why I decided to call it Harborview Apartments. So this building is actually an apartment building, and it functions like the apartment buildings from Late Night. So your sim can buy this lot and they can live here, and the other apartments that they do not live in are just kind of like black rooms. So yeah, but it is functional, kind of like the Late Night apartment buildings, but without like the giant shell. Now, this video is coming out a lot later than I was hoping for it to, because, well, today's Christmas, the day that this is being posted, and the main reason was, like, I, for the most part, didn't post anything in December because I was away at school, and now that I have my winter break, I was hoping to, be posting more frequently, because I've had the entire past week off as well. And what I was trying to do, or like what I kind of wanted to do, is to start like a City Skylines series. And I was just getting really frustrated because I was trying to make a map, and it really just wasn't. I was like not happy with anything that I was making, and I had a lot of trouble kind of getting into it. So I was like, after like a week of like doing that and having like not actually finished anything, I was like, you know what? How about we put this off and switch gears? So I think that I still want to do City Skyline stuff, but I think I might, instead of doing like a long series and like committing to like making a large project, I might do smaller kind of towns or something that are maybe 2 or 3 episodes long, and that'd be like it at a time. I think that's something that might be better for me. So yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna do. And also I think it probably is better to be able to spend a little bit more time to focus on this project, since Plymouth Isle still has a long way to go, a lot of lots to finish here. So that's why there's not been any videos like the whole past week. I feel a little bad because I kind of wanted to utilize this time effectively, this time that I have available, but it's all right. And this video I was hoping to come out a day earlier, but it just took longer than I thought. So that's why it's Christmas, and this is the first kind of I did post earlier this month, but I made those videos over Thanksgiving, the ones from like like December 1st, and so on. So yeah, it's fine. So here we are. This is an apartment building, and I think I might build one more apartment building in Plymouth Isle. I think it's going to go kind of near the consignment store, but this one was like, I think definitely a good place to put an apartment building because it is right here on this prominent corner. Now, this building has 2 stores in it as well. So on the first floor, I have 2 retail stores. This was not something I intended on doing originally, but it just kind of made sense considering the location here. I thought it would make more sense to do that. So to make them functional, I did use the objects from the Savvy Sellers collection, which is a Sims 3 store pack. And I used this on like my various community lots that I did. So like a lot of the community lots that I did over the summer had, stores on the first floor and then apartments above. So for example, like the laundromat was this way, and so was the consignment store, and even rabbit hole lots like the bookstore and the grocery store kind of have like these shops next door with like apartments above them. So those lots, the stores are functional on them. They're community lots, so your Sims can own them. They can run the stores, or they can just visit the stores. But the apartments on the upper levels of those were not like real apartments. They're just decorative. I mean, I guess your Sims could like use them, but they couldn't own them or live there permanently, and they couldn't put things like stoves on those lots. So those are like community lots first with decorative apartments. So this lot is kind of the other way around. This is a residential lot, so your Sims can buy it and they can live in it. And then it also has stores on the first floor that do function too. So since your Sim will own this lot if they live here, they're kind of own the stores as well, so they can run the stores kind of like in an open for business kind of style. So they can sell things in those shops. I actually only finished one of the shops. The other shop, I kind of made it look like it was just empty, kind of like it was closed, like went out of business or something. So yeah. And the apartment building itself has 5 apartments in it. So the one that I made actually finished is on the 3rd floor. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. There are 5 others that I kind of outlined, but I didn't actually do anything with them. So what I ended up doing to make this building function like a late night apartment building is I went into Buy-to-Bug, and there's 2 different kind of orbs you have to place. So like these orbs I've been using throughout the series mostly as skip level markers. So I like put them on like freeze levels and stuff, so when you're playing the game, like the game will just skip over that level, so it's not like annoying going up and down. And I also used one on like the Central Park as like a seasonal like a lot marker, so like the lot will change with the seasons. So these orbs kind of like do different things depending on like what they are, I guess. So in this building, there's public room markers in the lobby and hallways. So essentially that means that even though this is a residential lot, Sims who don't live on this lot can still like enter the building and walk in those public areas. And then I put in hidden room markers on the other apartments that I did not furnish or anything, like the other 4 apartments. So when you're in live mode in the game, you will see that they're just kind of blacked out, and you'll see that at the end too in the floor plan screenshots. And actually even from outside, you can see that the windows of those apartments are just black. So essentially those apartments are there, but you can't see into them, is the main idea there. And then I also set all the doors to these other apartments to be NPC doors. So that means that your sim who lives here can actually like ring the doorbell on those doors, and NPC sims will show up. So like theoretically, the sims that would be living in those apartments. So it's kind of like not just you, like you can still like knock on the door and like a sim will appear that like lives next door. So it has all the functionality of a late night apartment building, essentially, just in a different shape. It's not like in one of those shells, basically. So yeah, and it's kind of cool. I like it. I'm glad that this is like a functional apartment building. I think it's pretty cool. I have never built on a building like this because of course the other ones that I made as community lots don't actually work. So I did play test it. It does seem to work fine. There's some things I did that aren't functional, like the dining room table, for example. Only 2 chairs there are usable because it's too close to an archway. Those things I'm aware of. I just did it because I like the way it looks more. So you can change it if you want to download it. And things like in the back, I think the parking spots kind of block the back doors, but I was like, I want the parking spots here, and the back doors aren't necessary. Sims can use the other doors, so it's fine. So there's things like that. Like I know that I make some things like not work, but I do it because I think it looks better that way anyway. So I always make my builds kind of for the way that they look. So of course you can always change things a little bit if you download them to make them a little bit more playable, but it is fully functional. The building does work as an apartment building. So yeah, anyway, it has 3 floors. So yeah, the apartment's on the 3rd floor. The 2nd floor, you can just walk past it. There's just some blacked out apartments on that floor. The main thing I'm really happy with is just the outside of this building. I really like the way it turned out. I just think it looks really cool. And you'll see once I start getting the exterior colors and textures on it, it like starts to come together. I just think that like overall this building does a good job kind of anchoring the corner, because it's kind of like a main corner in the town center. It's like right by like where that road goes down to the harbor where all those shops are, and it's kind of like right by the Central Park area. So it's kind of like the main intersection. So I think it was important to have kind of like a more prominent building here. That's why I went with like a taller building instead of like just building a house. I thought like this is kind of the place an apartment building should be. Anyway, here's the parking lot that I'm doing. And I did include a car. So actually there was one small issue I came across is before I started building here, I set the lot type to an apartment lot type, because I was like, yeah, I'm building an apartment. It should be an apartment lot, right? But when I looked this up, it turns out that the apartment lot assignment is from University Life, and it actually makes it not really like a late night apartment. Instead, it makes it so that when your sim moves in, random roommates spawn and live in the building with you, which is not what I wanted. I didn't want that. I wanted this to be like a late night apartment where your sim buys their apartment and it's their apartment. They don't have to share it with like random roommates. So I switched it back to a normal residential lot because I didn't want to use that lot type anymore, because the late night apartments are just built on normal residential lots. But then, of course, when I saved the game and left and came back the next day, I had reset it back to the apartment type, which I thought that was great. So I was like, fine, I'll save the lot to the library. I deleted the lot, and then I changed it to a community lot, saved it, exited, came back in, then switched it back to residential lot, saved, came back in, and it was fine. And then I placed the lot back down and it made it an apartment lot again. And I was like, great. So what I ended up having to do was with the building, like on the lot, I had to switch it to a community lot, save and come back in, and then switch it back to a residential lot. And then it finally reset itself and stopped switching back to an apartment lot without me wanting it to. So it's fine now. It's now now it's just a normal residential lot. But because I had to switch it to a community lot, it deleted all the things that you can't have on community lots, which like it deleted like the stove, it deleted a grill that I put out back, which I ended up leaving that out anyway because I didn't think it made that much sense. But it also deleted the car too that I put in. And I didn't notice until after I finished and was taking screenshots. I was like, wait, where's the car that I put? So I ended up putting the car back. So you'll see the car in the screenshots, but you won't see me put it back because I forgot. But I did it off camera, so no worries. So yeah, not a big deal, I guess. You probably wouldn't even notice, but something to talk about. Anyway, here's the brick. So yeah, just a simple brick building. It's kind of in a similar-ish style to the consignment store building because I just really liked how that turned out. So I built this one to kind of match it a little bit. Of course, it's slightly different. But like the roof's a little different. It has like this corner piece. The colors are different, but it's kind of like the same sort of idea as this brick building, and the front kind of has like it's a little bit more ornamentation than the rest of it. So anyway, there's also this wall that goes around. So the idea there is that because the lots all next door to this one are going to be normal houses, so I kind of wanted to create a separation there. So I had this wall come up to the sidewalk. So it kind of like ends the extended sidewalk that I have in front of this building. So it kind of makes like a transition, or like a clear marker that's like the end of like this more commercial area and then becomes like a residential area. That's kind of the idea there. And here I'm putting in kind of this decorative trim on the frieze level that I created, and I ended up changing it from blue to green. I really like the way this turns out. I think it looks nice. That's why I like to have these frieze levels, because it kind of adds like a good opportunity to add a little bit more detail to the building, and it's not quite as boring. It does a little bit more than just making a solid brick building. So yeah, anyway, here I'm just putting that in, just kind of around there. And I also include it on these kind of main areas as well. So like this is kind of the main centerpiece of the building here on the corner, where it kind of angles out, has like a little tower there, which is nice. And I also have these like this like raised tower part, and also those two dormers there. So that wall is actually like this fourth floor, if you will, is just a frieze level. I lowered it down a little bit, so it's like a little bit lower than a normal level, so your Sims couldn't actually use it anyway. And the windows I just covered up with some blinds so you can't see in. But yeah, that's just mostly for decoration. I actually raised the ceiling height though in the apartment that I furnished because it's under that tower part, so it kind of makes it a little bit fancier, I guess. Anyway, here I'm just putting in the outside color still, so it's kind of getting in those details. I think it kind of pulls it all together once I do that. It really kind of adds a nice finishing touch. And I also kind of put a little bit of a roof, not there because the fire escape stairs blocked it, but right here. I've made like a little bit of a covered area. On the fire station building, I believe I actually made a convincing looking fire escape with like a ladder that went up to the stairs, but I couldn't get the ladder to work here, so I didn't. They're just kind of stairs. So there's just like two sets of stairs on the outside that go to nothing. But, you have to use your imagination that there'd be a ladder there. It's just for some reason, I think the freeze level didn't let me kind of put the ladder in. So, because I don't think the fire station had a freeze level, so this one does, so it's a little bit more problematic. But anyway, the roof there, I just put some details on it, just kind of did a little bit of different colors on the roof texture there, and I also put some air conditioning units up there. And here I'm just adding some lights on our side of those doors there. That's like the main kind of corner storefront. That's the store that I kind of finish off. The other store I kind of like make look like it's kind of went out of business. The mailbox, I put the mailbox there behind the stairs, but it actually disappears because I replace it with an apartment mailbox, which you'll see later. And I also put in the call box too on the outside of the building as well. So again, it has all the things that the late night apartment would. The only thing I didn't put in was a trash chute because I felt like that would be kind of weird. So since I didn't put the trash chute in, the normal like residential trash can is still there, which I assume still works as like the lot's trash can. So yeah, hopefully that's fine. I think it is. But anyway, here on the entrance for the apartment building, so this is kind of the apartment entrance. I kind of went crazy here with the flooring. So I went with this like green tile, or this green plumb bob stone floor, and the green actually matches the green accents on the outside of the building too, so it kind of ties that together. But I also did it on the floors upstairs too a little bit. I brought the green into that. But yeah, so the first floor is a little bit fancier. So you kind of have like the stone floors, the stone stairs, and then you also have the stone walls too, which is very fancy. So kind of like those inlaid walls there, very, very nice looking. And then as we move up upstairs here, it kind of gets a little bit more normal. But yeah, overall, just pretty simple stuff. So here's the flooring that goes in the upstairs hallways, and these hallways don't really have anything in them. They're just there to, get you to each apartment. And yeah, here I'm just choosing a wall color and putting that in, so the hallways and stuff. But yeah, those are the stairs, and I also put little fences there on the fire escape. But I think that's kind of it for like the structure. At this point, I'm putting in some trees. I'm actually matching the trees to what I put on the lot across the street because I thought, why not? That way it kind of ties it together a little bit. And then I put some more trees. I kind of like made this area a little bit lush because I kind of wanted to make a barrier between this apartment building and the house that's going to go next door. So I put a bunch of trees there at this end here because I thought that kind of helped a little bit. Also, the parking lot is pretty small, and I had imagined it'd be hard to turn the car around in that parking lot, but I liked having it there. I thought it was a nice little touch, since this is actually the only I think it's the only lot that I made, the only apartment building that I've made so far that has a parking lot in it. Because like the other community lots, I'm like messing up my words. The other community lots that have apartments on them, like the for show apartments, don't have parking lots. Which I guess it would make sense to have like parking available. So I guess people who live here could park there. So there's 3 parking spots out back there. But yeah, anyway, just doing a few things to the apartment up here. I think I actually end up doing the apartment kind of last. But yeah, the apartment has 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, has a kind of a separate kitchen. It's definitely bigger and nicer than the other apartments that I've built so far, like the ones like on the community lots. Those tended to be a lot smaller. I don't think I actually made any 3-bedroom ones. So this lot has like the 3-bedroom apartment. So yeah, it's still pretty expensive, of course, because if you choose to live here, if you choose to have your sim buy this lot, they're buying the entire building, because that's the way it works. And I think it's like it ends up being like 81,000 simoleons or something. So yeah, pretty expensive for an apartment, but it's fine. Because they're buying the stores and like the whole second floor that has nothing on it, but it's still there. So, there's all these things that they're still paying for. Anyway, I ended up using this trim a lot here. That's like wallpaper that kind of has this nice trim on it. I ended up using it in the store down here, and I ended up using it a lot in the apartment as well. So I think it looks pretty nice. I don't use it that often, so I thought, why not? But yeah, this is the main store here. This is the one I ended up finishing. So again, I use the Savvy Seller Collections kit or pack, I guess, to do this. So that includes like the cash register, the pedestals that I used, and the shelving that I put in as well. There's also rugs that came with it, but I didn't end up using those. Again, I've made so many of these like shops on Plymouth Isle so far that I really, at this point, don't really know how to make them unique, because a lot of them already are just like the same as other ones. So again, this is just random stuff in here. It's supposed to be, I guess, like a fancier store, but it's still just the same items I think that I put in other stores as well. So at a certain point, there's only so many decorative items that I can really put in, because I've already done like plant stores and lighting stores and other stuff. So I was like, I don't know what to do at this point. But yeah, this one has some plants, some fancy plants. There's a yellow horse for sale. So the yellow horse is there. That's very good. And also just some other items, I guess. Yeah, so, mostly just decorative, but it is functional, so your Sims can shop here, or they can run it themselves. I guess if they own the lot, that would probably make sense. Or you can hire someone to staff it if you live here on this lot. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, just doing that. And now I'm putting in the rug, and I'm just going to finish up this store right here before we move on to the other store, which, like I mentioned before, is pretty much just an empty shop. But yeah, this store here, I'm just putting in some lights and stuff, and I'll pretty much finish it off. So I'm going to do that. I also have a back room as well in this store, which the other one doesn't have. So basically I just put a few things in there, but still doing some lighting here. And yeah, with this store, just again, some more lighting stuff. And there's like the entrance area as well. And yeah, so now I think we're moving on here to the second store. So yeah, this one again, it just has some pedestals in it, some lights and stuff. It's pretty much it. It's kind of just meant to look like a store that kind of closed at some point. Now, just doing the back room of this store here, which just has some bookshelves in it, and I'm also putting in some of the more shelves there, but I just kind of leave them empty. So, just kind of like a back room space. But yeah, at this point, I think I do some landscaping. I think I do pretty much all the landscaping before I even go inside to the apartment space. So even though this builds an apartment build, the apartment ends up being the last thing I actually do. But it's the way it goes sometimes. So right here, I'm just putting in just some bushes and stuff, the same kind of stuff I've been putting on all the lots in the world here, just so it all kind of fits together. The grill's there. I guess I haven't, the grill and car are still here. So I haven't yet run into that kind of a lot issue where I had to reset it to a community lot and then back to residential lot. But yeah, anyway, I also added a little weather vane there on the top of the building as well, which looks nice. And repositioning that, I guess. So I think there's a bit more landscaping I do. So I'm just doing some terrain paint here, of course. Just, I always do that. So just some dirt terrain paint underneath all the plants and bushes and trees and stuff. Just, I think it adds a nice little touch there that, makes it look a little bit more realistic, since grass probably wouldn't grow in the shaded areas. But yeah, so just doing that, and also a little bit more dirt just kind of around the edges of the building, and also some benches as well. So I kind of put some public benches there out front. But now I'm just doing some, I'm actually rearranging the benches there, and now I'm going to do a few little things out the back here, and some lighting in the hallways. And I think we're going to move on to the apartment soon, at some point soon. So yeah, just some more lighting in the hallways and stuff. Just kind of like the boring stuff happening now, but we'll get there. Some curtains as well. That's very exciting. And painting those apartments, putting some wood flooring in them. And also this under roof area here, I just painted this kind of freeze level black, same with the other one. And I also kind of painted all the little areas that Sims aren't going to go in black as well. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much all the things there. So now we're going to begin on the apartment itself. So the apartment, like I've mentioned before, is 3 bedrooms. And I also, I'm going to, of course, the main living area as well. So anyway, right here, I guess I'm taking a break from doing the apartment, but I'm just doing the awning here. I decided to put an awning in because I did that on a lot of my other builds as well in the world. So I just thought it would kind of help it fit in a little bit better, I guess. So I kind of went with green and gray because that kind of matches the color scheme of the building, kind of matches the store as well. I only put the awning in for this kind of finished store. The other one doesn't have one because I didn't think it really was necessary. Also, this little corner piece was quite annoying. I didn't really want to go into place there, so I ended up having to remove that stone column to get it to actually work. I don't really know what was up with this. Very weird, but anyway, there it goes. But when would we get to the apartment? Wow, I actually was really misjudging when we'd get there. I was already talking about it like we were there, but no. Alas, we are not. Here I'm doing the sign. So this is just the sign over the storefront here. I use this sign, I think, on a couple other lots in the world as well, just because it's a good sign, It works well, and there's really not that many options when it comes to picking out signs, because there's only a few in the game to pick from, so this is a nicer one. But anyway, just putting that in, and also then, of course, the tiles there wouldn't remove, but almost, there we go. There's a sign, wonderful. So, also going to put in some plants here on either side of the door for the apartment building area, so yep, just doing that. Some planters, and then some blue flowers, I think, is what I ended up putting in there. So we'll get there in a moment. There we go. Alrighty, so now I think is when we're going to perhaps get around to actually doing the apartment itself. So I'm going to put in the room markers that I talked about way back at the beginning of the video, because I need to have those in there so all the rooms kind of act correctly. So I kind of have the public room markers in the front hallways, and then I have the hidden room markers in the apartments themselves. So yeah, that's basically what I've done here. And I also just set the doors there to have NPCs spawn when you knock on them. Anyway, we're actually getting into the apartment now. So, just going back into the town there for a moment. But here we go. Here we go. Wow, that was like a few minutes after I thought we were actually going to start tackling it. But yeah, here I'm just putting in, yeah, just the same kind of trim that I put downstairs in the store. I think it looks kind of cool. So I used it here as well. And I'm just, making the corners look nice and everything, just kind of wrapping it around the room. I think it kind of adds a nice bit of extra detail to the apartment and just makes it a little bit fancier, I guess. It's kind of like an older building, so they, I guess, included these kind of nice, fancier details. But anyway, here just beginning on the living room area. So you have a nice fireplace, kind of this built-in looking bookshelf. So the bookshelf is kind of behind an archway there, which means it's probably not usable, but don't worry, I do put in a usable bookshelf as well right there. So one, I guess, is kind of more for decoration. But anyway, here's getting in the textures and stuff on the furniture. So just getting the couch in, and there's some chairs or side tables. These are chairs. So there's the dining room area there, kind of under the kind of raised ceiling height, which is nice. So you kind of have that on the main corner of the building. Also putting in some plants and stuff, just some details and things, just kind of around the room here. Is a pretty decent size, I guess, for an apartment. I mean, obviously small if this was a house, but for an apartment, it's pretty nice. And this apartment takes up the majority of the floor. It's about like almost 3/4 of this floor, third floor of the building. So yeah. But anyway, I was putting in some lights here. So we got some wall sconces and also like the curtains there, which look very nice. So just putting those in. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the living room area. Again, it's a smaller space, but it came together pretty nice. I think I moved the dining table over a little bit. Also, there's no rugs yet. I do have to get to that, but this is the kitchen. So the kitchen is kind of in this bay window area, which is nice. Fairly good size. I do include like a center kind of island out of a dining table there as well. So that kind of creates a little bit more usable space. But yeah, here just recoloring the counters and cabinets, kind of borrowing that same gray stone or gray tile from the fireplace there for the counters. Anyway, there's that kind of center table, and here I'm just putting in just some decorative items and stuff on the counters and things like that, and stuff on the table there as well, and put a towel there in the bathroom. And I'm also going to put in, of course, some tiles on the walls, so I kind of go for gray as well. So kind of like a gray theme with this building, I guess. It's kind of some gray elements going on here and there. So yeah, I got the gray tile in the bathroom there as well, and just kind of recoloring the walls there. And putting in the call box there, so your Sims can, if they don't live here, they can call whoever does live here through that box there to get let in. And I also put in the mailbox at some point. I'm just looking through the buy debug menu right now and all the random things that are in there. But there's the mailbox there, or the mailboxes. So yeah. Anyway, I think we're going to continue at the kitchen here. So I also put some blinds on the windows and some plants in the corner there. And I'm going to do some rugs soon as well. Also a dishwasher, which is nice to have. And I also, I think, put in a trash can as well. But, oh yeah, there it is. So I've got the trash can there. And there's a little mat on the floor there for the sink. And I also put a rug in the living room here. And also I think I put one under the dining table as well. So yeah, there we go. And I think that's kind of the main living space done here for the apartment. I think I put a chair in the corner, probably, in this corner here. Yeah, there we go. Nice little chair there and some more plants. But yeah, essentially we're going to move on now to, I think, the bathroom. So the bathroom kind of has just a pretty simple black and white tile look going on. So we kind of have that there on the walls and the floor. And there's a shower. There's also a washer and dryer in here. Again, I don't know if these are usable. Probably not, because of that archway that's blocking them. So again, that was just more just for the look of it. I also put some curtains there. So of course, if you want your Sims to be able to use them, you can remove that wall there and then they'll work fine. I just kind of did that for the look mostly. But yeah, anyway, getting in some towels here. Also a mirror there to go over the sink. And a little rug under the toilet. And then one by the sink there as well. So yeah, that's pretty much that right there. Also putting a shelf there in the laundry area, just for a few more details just to go on that. But it's pretty much it for the bathroom, I believe. So now we have the 3 bedrooms to tackle. So The first of which will be the master bedroom. So yeah, this bedroom kind of has a blue color scheme. It's kind of a gray blue color scheme in it. And I think it looks pretty good overall. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a good size room as well, considering that this is meant to be an apartment. So, I think that works pretty well. And of course, all the bedrooms have closets, which is something that I like to include in all my builds now. So that's something very important. But yeah, so just doing that right now, getting in all the wall textures and stuff. There's the closet lights right there. And I was considering moving the bed to a different place, but actually I did move the bed there. Yeah, so I moved the bed to that wall instead, and I got a little light in there. I also put in a wardrobe as well, and a separate dresser, and there's also the closet, so there's plenty of storage space in this bedroom, that's for sure. Here I'm just getting in a bedspread there, and then also the other little bits on the bed there, I guess, the strap that goes over the 4-poster part. And here I'm just putting in the dressers and stuff, and then also a mirror there over the dresser, and some lamps in the room, and some curtains there on the windows. And I think I also get a rug in, and then maybe a few more details, also some chairs there. But yeah, otherwise I think that's going to be pretty much it for this room. It's a nice room. Here kind of has a nice bay window. I like the bay windows on this building. They look nice from the inside and from the outside. So I thought that was a nice detail, and it kind of adds a bit of extra space for the apartment on the inside as well. But yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it for that bedroom. The next bedroom I'm going to tackle is going to be the other larger bedroom here. So this one kind of has a green color scheme to it, like a very soft green on the walls. And also all the rooms in this house have wood flooring. There's no carpets in here. I feel like it's probably more typical of older apartment buildings. Probably they tend to use wood because I assume that they'd use wood because it would wear a little bit better than carpet would, especially with multiple tenants moving in and out. But anyway, here is putting in a mirror. I'm putting curtains on the windows there though. So a couple windows in this room. No bay window for this room because I kind of want to break up the exterior there with some flat wall. But yeah, just putting in some artwork here in this room. So this room is kind of a very green color scheme with that bedspread and the very soft green on the walls. And then I'm also getting a rug in right there. And I think I get a floor standing mirror in as well, so just over in this corner. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for that room, I believe. And now we're going to move on to the final room in the apartment, which is basically just a kid's room. So this also has kind of a green color scheme to it. I do change it. I originally went with like a brownish color on the walls, but I changed it to that color. And then the bedspread is also kind of green overall as well. So yeah, just getting that in. And so just choosing a dresser here. And I kind of actually make the bed wooden, even though normally it's like a metal bed. I think it kind of looks better in wood. Putting that texture on it, I think works a little bit better. But yeah, also just getting a lamp in here. And it's a small bedroom, of course, but I think it works pretty well overall. I managed to fit in plenty of little things in here, some toys and stuff as well, and some posters on the walls too. I actually ended up putting in a Sims 4 poster right there, so I thought, why not? And also looking for something on that wall there. Just put a little flower picture there, I guess. And also putting in some curtains here. I went with the yellow from the pillows and sheets. I also used that on the curtains too, which I thought kind of made for a nice pop of color as well. But yeah, right here, just doing some toys there, putting those in. And I think that's going to be pretty much it for the interior there. So now we're just going to do some final touches on the building. So I'm just going to add in this kind of wood here under the roof, just so it looks a little bit nicer there. And also I put in some skip level markers as well in the freeze levels. And out here in the backyard, I'm going to put in a dumpster because I feel like that makes sense for a larger building to have that. And I also put the car back later, like I said before. There's no car there now because it disappeared. But also there's a outdoor light there by the dumpster. And just a few more things. But anyway, we're pretty much at the end of the video here. The last thing I'm really going to do is these 2 bathrooms downstairs, one for each store. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe, like, and comment. It really helps me out a lot. Right here, I'm just putting in just the final details. There's going to be some screenshots coming up very soon, so I hope you stick around for those. It kind of gives you a better idea of what it all looks like kind of from a first-person point of view. But yeah, so just doing that kind of stuff here, just some final touches. And And yeah, just changing the color of the wall there, I guess. And what else do I do? Oh, the fire escape stuff. Yeah, I have to do that too. That looks a little unfinished right now. So I just kind of make a nice metal texture on there, on the flooring there, and I change the color of the stairs. But it's pretty much the last thing that I do. So anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and I hope that you all enjoy the rest of the video. So yeah, bye everyone. See you next time.